Jackson, thanks so much for watching and have a great night.
Ladies and gentlemen, Staff Sergeant Dominic.
This program lineup is brought to you by Vision Express.
KUAM TV8, home of Super Bowl 60, coming February 9th, 2026. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
On KUAM News Primetime. The Attorney General's latest billboard campaign titled The Purge gives a stark warning to migrants who break the law. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with the story coming up. Longtime GDOE Deputy Superintendent Joe Sanchez bids the department farewell after more than 25 years of service. More on his surprise from the Guam DOE community coming up.
And as Guam prepares to welcome the new year, the Governor and Lieutenant Governor of Guam reflect on the challenges overcome and share what they say lies ahead for the island.
Hafa day and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Destiny Cruz-Lingis. Thanks for ending your day with us. Well, as Guam prepares to turn the page on a new year, Governor Lou Leon Guerrero and Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio say this moment is about more than reflection. It's about recognizing the resilience, compassion, and unity that carried the island through every challenge, proving once again that Guam's greatest strength has always been its people.
The new year is always a chance to pause and look inward. It gives us space to appreciate the lessons learned, the people who lifted us up, and the moments that shaped us. It is also a reminder that growth does not come all at once. It comes through small choices, steady effort, and the willingness to keep moving forward.
And as we turn the page, we carry with us a renewed sense of purpose. The coming year brings real opportunities for our families and our island. We are building stronger schools, modernizing the services our people depend on, investing in our healthcare system, and creating new paths for our workforce. These efforts are not just projects. They are promises we are working to deliver on for every household across Guam.
And in other news, many of you have seen the Attorney General's latest billboard campaign of a cartoon caricature depicting a man in shackles with a luggage, a passport, and the word purged. Or maybe you've seen the social media reels of non-citizen offenders that have been deported and given questionable nicknames. It's part of the AG's Deport Air program, which he says he's amping up as he closes out his term next year. Mitsuki Hirayama reports. In his latest billboard campaign titled The AG Moylan Purge, Attorney General Doug Moylan gives a stark warning to repeat and violent non-citizen criminals. Scanning the billboard's QR code sends users to the Office of the Attorney General's website, where Moylan explains the purge in detail. It's where the AG says he's amping up what he calls his, quote, focus attacks upon criminals in the next 12 months as he concludes his 4-year term.
We're going to hunt them down, prosecute, and then get them out of our community. It's essentially to protect crime victims and to protect all of us against the suffering and harm that these criminal aliens are doing to we and our families.
On Tuesday, his office launched social media, quote, purge reels showcasing 110 non-citizen offenders that have already or are in the process of being deported. This, quote, inventory of tributes, he says, serves as a warning to, quote, alien guests. KUAM questioned Moylan on his rhetoric and whether he had concerns the billboard could come off as culturally insensitive.
You're dealing with people that are literally being murdered, raped, robbed, assaulted, all types of violent crimes from these criminal aliens. And then on the other side, you're balancing hurting people's feelings. And I'm not in the business of trying to make people happy to the extent that others are suffering because of their feelings of cultural insensitivity.
Moylan says a majority of the deportees are from the FSM, mainly Chuk, as the reels reflect. He
He defends the rails and the billboard, arguing it acts as a deterrent and makes law-abiding residents safer. Do you feel like this could create tension with that community here?
Well, quite frankly, I don't care. They've already created the tension by violating our laws and hurting our people. Again, these names that you're seeing and the reels that you're seeing and that we're featuring of the tributes there, look at their rap sheets. These aren't just one-time criminals that are being unjustly treated by being deported from Guam. These people have long rap sheets, and many of them are from the family court when they were below 18.
As reported under his Deport Air program, non-citizen criminals convicted of violent crimes can be voluntarily deported in exchange for a suspended sentence. This initiative, he says, saves taxpayers money and frees up space at the prison. Meantime, KUAM reached out to the Public Defender Service Corporation for comment on how this impacts Guam's public defense system. Matsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
And Wednesday marks the final day of service at the Guam Department of Education for the deputy superintendents who served under former Superintendent Dr. Kenneth Swanson. Among them is longtime GDOE veteran Joe Sanchez, whose departure was met with an outpouring of heartfelt farewells from the community. Here's more. After more than 25 years with the Guam Department of Education, 13 of which he served as Deputy Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, Joe Sanchez is closing a chapter defined by service, commitment, and connection to the people he served. Earlier this week, the GDOE community gathering at John F. Kennedy High School for a surprise farewell, a moment filled with gratitude, reflection, and emotion as colleagues, friends, and education partners came to say thank you and goodbye.
All of these years, it's just been an absolute pleasure working for the department. It's been an absolute pleasure, working with, everybody, even the families and our community partners. It was very touchy, and I'm hugely humbled.
In the days leading up to his departure, Sanchez making a point to visit the GDOE community, personally thanking teachers, staff, and administrators who have worked alongside him through the years. His exit comes as incoming GDOE Superintendent Judy Wanpad appoints a new senior leadership team.
Being the closest to the student, a lot of the work falls on the teachers. So, it feels like a lot of it is always asking for more from them. And the fact that they're just so willing to always give more is just something we need to appreciate. As a community. And, when I say thank you to them, it still just doesn't feel enough. But it's the least that I could say at this point. Is just thank them for all of these absolutely wonderful years.
Sanchez leaves behind a legacy of hard work and results, including his recent role in helping Guam DOE secure more than $54 million in federal fund reimbursements for its 7-point plan to address learning loss. He says he hopes his successor will build on what has been accomplished, recognizing the progress made and the work still ahead. Looking forward, Sanchez says his next chapter may take him to Hawaii, but his heart remains tied to Guam. He adds that returning to serve GDOE, including taking another shot at leading as superintendent, will always remain a possibility. He leaves this message for GDOE and the island.
We've just been through so much. And really, I just cannot thank the community, more, and the students.
Meantime, fellow deputy superintendents serving under Dr. Swanson will also end their terms on December 31st. And in more education news, we take a closer look at Science is Fun and Awesome Learning Academy Charter School's fiscal year 2023 audit and the strategies the charter school is using to move forward. Here's more. Science is Fun and Awesome Learning Academy Charter School's fiscal year 2023 audit is now available for public review, released by the Office of Public Accountability. The independent audit conducted by Ernst & Young LLP, issuing CIFA a clean opinion on its financial statements. However, auditors also identifying 4 material weaknesses and 2 significant deficiencies in the school's internal control over financial reporting. According to the OPA's financial highlights as of September 30th, 2023, CIFA's enrollment stood at 420 students, exceeding the authorized funding cap. Funding is set at $7,000 per student, with a cap of 350 students for school year 2022-2023. a limit aligned with the school's staffing capacity at the time. The report also noting a decrease in both revenues and expenses, with Government of Guam appropriations totaling $1.86 million, accounting for nearly all of CFA's total revenues for fiscal year 2023. Meantime, salaries remain the school's largest expense, totaling $1.49 million, or 73% of CFA's total FY 2023 expenditures. The audit flash report also referencing CFA's dispute with its former landlord, Eagle Land Holdings LLC. In response to these challenges, management has developed a financial recovery strategy aimed at improving cash flow and long-term stability. That plan includes proposing an increase to the enrollment cap, initiating a claim against the police contract vendor to recover funds, applying for applicable grant opportunities, and other corrective measures. The full report is available at www.opaguam.org. A shear line moving slowly south through the northern Marianas is weakening, bringing mostly fair weather to Guam and Rota, with only patchy clouds near Saipan and Tinian. Forecasters say conditions should remain generally favorable across Guam and the CNMI through the end of the week, though brief clouds or passing showers can't be ruled out. That means outdoor New Year's celebrations should see cooperative weather. And looking ahead, another shear line is expected to move into the region later this weekend, bringing stronger winds, increasing seas, and a higher chance of showers starting Sunday and into early next week. Seas and surf are easing for now, but are expected to build again from the north as that next system approaches. Time for a quick break. You're watching KUAM.
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! Credit applied. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
Say howdy to the new Buffalo Ranch sauce with its tangy creaminess and its creamy tanginess. It's your chicken's perfect partner, only at McDonald's.
This holiday season, the magic is near. In every aisle, it's crystal clear. From decor that dazzles, to toys that bring joy, to sweet little treats for each girl and boy. Lights that sparkle, gifts from the heart, it all comes together at Kmart.
Welcome back to Primetime. Now to a significant escalation in the U.S. pressure campaign against Venezuela. President Donald Trump acknowledging the first known airstrike inside the country. It comes as he tries to manage flaring tensions between Russia and Ukraine.
A new escalation in President Trump's pressure campaign on Venezuela now coming to light. The U.S. has been hitting alleged drug trafficking boats at sea for months, the most recent strike killing 2 people just yesterday, according to the Pentagon. But now, President Trump revealing an attack on Venezuelan soil, saying his administration took out what he calls a big facility.
There was a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs.
NBC News has not been able to verify where or when the attack happened. The president has previously said that he's authorized the CIA to take action in Venezuela, but he would not say who was behind the strike.
Was the facility taken out by the U.S. military, or was it another entity like the CIA?
Well, I don't want to say that. I know exactly who it was, but I don't want to say who it was. But you know, it was along the shore.
Venezuela's authoritarian leader, Nicolas Maduro, has repeatedly denounced the U.S.'s military buildup in the region. Meanwhile, President Trump monitoring another conflict from his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. Trump speaking by phone again with Russian President Vladimir Putin as the U.S. continues to push for a ceasefire in Ukraine.
It was a very productive talk. I mean, we have a few very thorny issues.
Putin telling Trump Ukrainian drones tried to attack one of his residences in northwestern Russia, which Ukraine denies.
This is not the right time. It's one thing to be offensive, because they were offensive. It's another thing to attack his house.
Russia's foreign minister now saying that his country's negotiating position will be reconsidered following the alleged incident.
The Port Authority of Guam closed out the year with another major passenger vessel arrival this morning, welcoming the Japan-flagged Matsui Ocean Fuji as it berthed just before 7:40 a.m. The 649-foot cruise ship arrived from Saipan carrying more than 750 passengers and crew combined, marking the island's 5th passenger vessel call of 2025 and the second arrival in just 3 days. Port General Manager Roy J. Respicio said the visit highlights Guam's growing role in regional tourism, noting that each vessel arrival strengthens the local economy and reflects the port's commitment to safe, efficient, and professional operations. Respicio also credited port employees for their extensive preparations, including securing designated areas of the container yard to safely accommodate passenger operations. The vessel will remain overnight and is scheduled to depart Guam at around 4 p.m. on New Year's Day, continuing on to Japan. Passengers were greeted with a cultural welcome coordinated by the Guam Visitors Bureau, offering a warm island send-off as Guam brings in the new year. The Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration joined the Guam Housing Corporation, the Guam Housing and Urban Renewal Authority, and community partners Monday to break ground on Phase 2 of the Lada Gardens renovation, continuing long-term investment in affordable housing for Guam's families. Lada Gardens is a 115-unit community built in the 1960s. After 23 units were renovated in 2022, Phase 2 will upgrade an additional 16 low-income rental units, including 2, 3, and 4-bedroom homes, expanding capacity and improving living conditions. The project is led by the Guam Housing Corporation in partnership with GORA, with Genesis Tech as the contractor. The administration provided $1.5 million in American Rescue Plan funding to support the work. Governor Leon Guerrero said investing in housing is investing in Guam's people, while Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio emphasized the strong demand for affordable housing and the site's proximity to schools, public health services, and a hospital. A ribbon-cutting ceremony will be scheduled once construction is complete. Members of the community are invited to a free cultural activation this weekend hosted by Gimatan Guma. The event takes place Saturday from 4 to 7 p.m. at Sagan Kotoran Chamorro in Tumon and will feature multidisciplinary artists and cultural practitioners from the 2025 Mali'i Co-Laboratory. The one-week artist residency centers on ancestral spirituality, ceremony, and creative practice, with participants showing how art and culture can support healing, reflection, and renewal. The activation is free and open to the public, with donations encouraged to support Sagan Kotoran Chamorro. Dinner will also be provided by the site's Hotnu practitioners. For more information, it's available on Gimatan Guma's Instagram page. For the first time in 2 decades, rain could put a damper on the Rose Parade, but wet weather won't stop the event.
As float decorators make their final preparations, a rainy forecast isn't dampening plans for the 2026 Rose Parade.
The mechanics and the electronics in the float we have them covered well enough that they should withstand any of the rain to function properly on parade morning.
Rose Parade Float Project Manager Kyle Amorine remembers the last time it rained on their parade in 2006.
It wasn't the best year, but we got through it. I was wet and it was hard to stay dry. We still got the floats down the parade route safely, and they still looked really good going down there.
Amorine says these floral masterpieces are built to withstand rain and wind, and they have enough ponchos for all parade participants to stay dry.
We work very closely with Pasadena Fire Department in case of inclement weather. If there is lightning or any of those type of things, then we will take the appropriate action that we need to take.
Pasadena Tournament of Roses CEO David Eads says they're making the necessary safety preparations and encourages those attending the parade to cover up and plan ahead. And float volunteers say the rain could even enhance the floats, helping them shine even brighter.
I know that it goes on rain or shine, so I imagine that the flowers are going to probably look a little more lively with a little bit of rain, I would imagine.
And after a difficult year for so many, the parade is a chance to connect with community and help lift spirits. And Eid says the rain won't get in the way of this tradition's message.
This is a time to reinvigorate, to move forward. You know, we're focused on, obviously here in Altadena, Pasadena area, about rebuilding and the resilience of the people. And this is a way that on New Year's Day we can come together and celebrate.
Now for a look at your world at home. Here's an evening glimpse from the amphitheater at Tsubaki Tower in Tuma.
GU Self-Storage, located in Harmon next to McDonald's, offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $95 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, appliance hand trucks, and pallet jack, with a fully covered loading and unloading areas and ADA accessible units. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance monitoring, alarm, and individual pin-coded gate and door access, because your safety is our priority. GU Self-Storage, voted Pika's Best in 2024. Call 671-648-7867 today.
Don't need to work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
KFC. Celebrate the holidays with KFC Hot and Spicy Chicken and Honey Hot Wings Holiday Feast.
Bringing back our best ones through the years.
All that deliciousness for just $39.95.
KFC, it's finger licking good.
Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby!
My name is Maddie Atta. I'm in the class of 2026, and I play basketball for the Academy of Our Lady of Guam. One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that you can't control the outcome, but you can control your mindset. And I think it's all about your mentality and how you decide whether that setback can bring you down or push you to come back stronger. I think staying consistent and working not only on skill but weight training in the off season is really essential. Nutrition and recovery is also a huge factor in performing better and just overall becoming stronger. My parents have always instilled in me in having a strong work ethic, and I'm always driven to becoming better and understanding my weaknesses and just striving to do better. My biggest inspirations are my mom and my dad because they've shown so much support, sacrifice, and dedication in helping me and my brothers become better and achieving our goals. So first, before any game, I usually pray with my team just to ensure that God is in the center of our journey. My dad always tells me to take a deep breath, clear my mind, and to remember to trust myself in the work that I've put in. But in close games, I just take it one play at a time and just to focus not on the score but how we play and how I can contribute and guide my team to winning. I would like to shout out my mom and dad, my trainers and coaches, and my teammates for supporting me. This is Maddie Atta, and you're watching In the Cut.
Leslie kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby!
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill. What's for lunch and for dinner? You want something good? Yeah. Jamaican grill. Yeah, man, serious food.
Happy New Year, Guam! Plates, platters, and parties at your house or ours. Yaman, serious food for 2026.
News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Better Together, Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas, and the Guam Army National Guard. Live here, serve here.
Happy New Year, everybody! And you know what? Who said the giving of presents ends just on Christmas, right? My friends at Fresco, my people, my buddies down there, they have prepared this amazing concert, Fresco Fest, over at Ipao Beach Park on the 24th, right? So ring in the new year in a few weeks and have a wonderful time. Island-style music from some truly exceptional groups. Get your tickets right now, frescoclothing.com. You can get tickets for somebody else, right? The gift giving continues, right? Or swing by Jamaican Grill, tell them KUAM sent you, and get your tickets in person and make sure to be there because it's going to be absolutely amazing. All right, speaking of New Year's, last night, tonight, tomorrow, through the holiday season, right? We want to make sure that we get home safely. If you have a little bit too much to drink, if you find yourself in a position where you need to get a ride home, if you know somebody that does, make sure to pass along the Safe Drive Home numbers because it's 686-9276 or 787-9276. The Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center and Togi are making this available completely free. No questions, no judgment. Just make sure to make use of it because we want to make sure everybody gets home safe this holiday season through New Year's, right? And then Soja is returning, speaking of amazing holiday concerts, and this happens on the 17th. This happens at Leo Palace. This happens because it's going to make you feel good. Concerts all the time, right? It's like the 5Ks, right? The 2Ks and the 5Ks. If we have it every single Saturday, that's an amazing thing. But make sure to get these ticket concerts because this is going to be an amazing experience. And once again, Happy New Year to all of you. And here's your New Year's birthday babies.
Happy birthday and celebrating Jayton Farron. Happy birthday to my hero, my daddy, and my friend. Have a great day and stay ready. Hug, hug, kiss, kiss, hug, hug, big kiss, little hug, kiss, kiss, little kiss. Very, very nice. Jacob Vicente Cruz Salas, happy birthday number 32 to Jacob of Mangilao. We're all hoping you have a wonderful birthday on this last day of the year. Fireworks and all. With all of our love, the Cruz and Salas clans, your wife, Latanya, your children, and especially your mom. Remember, Bo, nobody loves you like I do, says your shout out. And Mark Panlilio, happy birthday to you from your friends and colleagues at Guam Medical Imaging Center and Guam Radiology. And happy birthday and many blessings to our forever New Year's baby, Justine Sablan. Celebrating you is truly a blessing for our family, and please continue to be strong, stay focused, and always have faith. With all our love, says a very, very proud family. Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com.
And that's your Primetime Show and the last episode we have of our newscast for 2025. Please be safe and have a joyous and prosperous New Year to all of you and your families.
Holiday.
Every year starts with a blank page and ends with stories that stay with us. Stories that shaped conversations, sparked change, and reminded us why we do this.
Not every answer came easy,
but every story mattered. We asked the tough questions,
turned the page on challenges,
and followed the facts wherever they led.
From early mornings to late nights,
bringing you the full picture.
Coffee break's over. This chapter needs all of us.
Because the biggest stories are never told alone.
Big stories.
Bigger moments.
The ones that tested us.
And the ones that brought us together. From breaking news to defining moments.
That's a wrap on 2025.
And here's to writing our next chapter.
12 months, 365 days, 8,760 hours, unlike any other in our beloved island community's rich history. Half a day, everybody. Welcome to That's a Wrap 2025 edition. We are KUAM News. And ladies, so good to see you here for what has become a KUAM tradition.
Yes, we're starting new traditions of our own every single year.
Absolutely. So I'm Jason Salas, and primarily this year, even though each and every one of us, we all cover a variety of beats here, happily so at KUAM, and we do it for all of you guys. I have primarily covered sports, military affairs, and business matters.
Yep, and you do it so well.
Thank you.
Half a day, everyone. I'm Destiny Cruz-Langus, and I primarily cover education and health.
Half a day, everyone. My name is Nevaeh. I usually cover, the legislature, what's going on in politics across the island, but sometimes we get to do some fun stuff with cultural things going on across the island, but yeah, that's what I do.
I'm Jonigan Charfres, and I cover, basically what needs to be filled, but also public safety and Department of Parks and Recreation, and a lot of the cultural stuff as well, too.
Right, and I'm Mitsuki Hirayama. I primarily cover the environment and tourism, and I feel like we pretty much, all of us share the crime beat and any other that that we need to take over.
Yeah. Right. And the wonderful thing about working at KUAM and, as kind of like the older guy here in our team is every year is completely unique. This year had its challenges. This year's had its opportunities. This year had a collection of indelible images, unbelievable sound bites, incredible moments, good times, bad times, and everything. And you guys really had a handle on the pulse of the community and really did a good job. And so for the next hour, we are going to take you back and really show you what it was like from our perspective in being able to chronicle just an amazing year.
All right, so let's get into it, guys.
Yeah, let's dive right in.
Let's
do
go.
it.
Now, for a limited time, get our largest pizza at our lowest price. Just $9.99 for our classic New York-style pizza. It's 30% larger than our large, and at only $9.99 for carryout. Don't wait. Order now at your Island Pizza Hut.
All right, so ladies, we know that there's never a shortage of developments in education, and we could honestly be here all day if we discussed everything that we've covered, because again, we all take turns tackling this huge beat. But some of the notable things that I think come top of mind for me specifically was Magalahan Harao Academy Charter School. They graduated their first cohort of fluent Chamorro speakers. And I just think that's a great way to kick off, when we look back at this whole year, like what a way to, cap off the year with our first cohort of fluent speakers. And then of course, when it comes to DOE, I don't even know where to start. But I think facilities definitely took over this year in addition to decommissioning. And it's something that we've been tracking closely. I've covered countless Guam Education Board meetings where they were trying to decipher which schools to close. And of course, the board ultimately decided it would be Chief Brody Elementary School and Lyndon B. Johnson. So I just remember when we were gearing up for Brody's closing, I talked to you, Sukes, about it because I know that you were previously a busy bee.
and it was an emotional closure for the community. So I just wanted to ask you, like, how did you feel hearing that your school would be closing this year?
I mean, definitely it was a pretty sad moment. I did go to Tamaning and Chief Brody, but where I graduated from was Chief Brody. So it's really sad to see it close. As you mentioned, how the principal was saying how it affected really the wider Busy Bee community. But what were some of the moments that you saw when you were covering that? Because you were covering it for pretty while, right?
Yeah, so leading up to the closure, we did a walkthrough with then Principal Darlene Castro, and she was rightfully so very emotional. And a quote that stuck out to me was, there were so many hearts that were poured into the school. And, just reflecting on her time there and the countless people that have been raised in that school, it definitely had a huge impact. And, those students and those faculty and staff are now reassigned to different parts of DOE. So it definitely had a huge impact on the GDOE community.
And speaking of those impacts within education, there was a lot of double session that still happened this year, and it really affected the Sanchez community and of course the JFK community. But you were also following along with the Rebuild Sanchez and of course the delay, right?
Right. So again, we know that we were entering this school year with double session again between John F. Kennedy High School and Simon Sanchez. And the Simon Sanchez community was really looking forward to the rebuild finally kicking off. We know that they were gearing up for the demolition and also the groundbreaking ceremony finally for their campus. And then there was a procurement protest that happened, which automatically triggers a stay in Guam law. So unfortunately, there's currently a pause in that whole process. And we did speak to students from Simon Sanchez, and they were rightfully so disappointed. But we just have to continue tracking on what's going to happen with that. We also know that legislation was introduced to reform procurement on Guam. So again, it's just so many things to look forward to in 2026. But speaking of another huge agency on Guam, I just want to wrap up education with,
before we wrap up, there was a major transition that was happening with Dr. Swanson, right?
Yes. And so he took the helm in 2023 and now he's stepping down. We do know that Dr. Judy Wanpat was elected by the Board of Education to be the new superintendent. And again, speaking of transitions and leadership, we know GMH.
Yes.
So can you just tell us a little bit more? We know that you've been tracking. Tell us a little bit more about what's been going on in the health beat.
Yeah, so like we said earlier, we all cover the beats as needed, and Suki and I kind of share what's going on with GMH and what's going on there. And so the GMH administrator, Lillian Posada, she retired after 6 years at the helm, and I was conducting her exit interview, and I could just really feel the passion that she had for her long career in healthcare and just her desire to see the hospital do better than it had been in previous years. And with the interim CEO and administrator coming in, Dr. Jolene Uggen, they really hit the ground running and just started with their budget talks. They did walkthroughs through the hospital. There were some hiccups with things going on with the power grid and everything like that, but it's been nice to see how consistent they've been with their capital improvement projects and trying to get the hospital in a better state so that it can better serve the island and maybe possibly evolve into a new hospital.
And I know that we'll be tracking that closely with 2026 just around the corner. I know we're going to continue to follow all of these developments very closely. It's something to look forward to. And another huge development was also the medical campus that was debated heavily this year. So we'll talk about that a lot more down the line. But again, it was a huge year, and we could really be here all year just talking about education and healthcare, and they often intersect. So we'll continue this discussion. So stay tuned, everybody. We can yap all day. Keep it here.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
I thought you worked in his house.
Oh, I'm wherever he needs to fuel up. Oh, Cantina chicken burrito.
Thanks, Todd.
That's the way to do it.
You know what? Let me actually get something to wash that down with, please.
Yeah, I got you.
Easy. Appreciate it.
You've made a powerful enemy, Todd. I didn't mean it.
All right, guys, before we move on, I just want to give a quick little thank you to our friends over here at the lobby bar at the Crown Plaza Resort for fueling us for this next part as we get into crime and industry.
Yeah. And we got bruschetta and pepperoni.
Oh, yeah.
Ready to dig in.
Thanks, Coke, for that. You know, I know you were mentioning about how it was a big year for the GDOE and the private or the public hospital.
Yes.
The only public hospital, Guam Memorial. And it was also a busy year for the Guam Police Department. They were kept busy with there were a lot of arrests out of crime. There was a lot of death and homicide investigations. And there was one in April. It was a shooting in Pagachao. And for the past months, they couldn't find a suspect. They couldn't even release the name of the murder victim. And it wasn't until October the GPD put out a press release and even a press conference that they made an arrest of Donald Latno. And that's when we found out who the murder victim was. It was a guy named Carl Gargarito. And that one, I remember it happening early in the morning. We had Nick on the scene over there trying to get a feel for the community because some of the shots actually hit some of the houses.
I remember
nearby.
like their front door.
And luckily no one was hurt, There was also the one that happened, and I know, Kobe, do you remember it? It was a stabbing in Sinahalia. It was a 61-year-old
Yes.
that had pulled up to the central precinct.
I remember that story kind of changed overnight because when we did break that story on our social media, it was a man had brought his friend who was injured in the car, and I think the following day, that was the breaking story. Was someone was brought to a precinct injured, unresponsive, and then we find out the next day that it was actually a crime, right? It was the person who had brought that injured person there was the one responsible for the incident, and it was kind of just one of those things where it's wow, it's a heavy story, and I feel like it's important for people to know that type of things are happening on our island, just to bring awareness and all of that.
And I think what was the shocking part was that the victim was stabbed 50 times.
Over 50 times,
So I think that brought a lot of comments from, regarding the story. They found out it was a husband, and then, the victim was his wife, and that one was like you mentioned, how it changed overnight. And the one I think that we all can really
speak to,
is the one that happened about 8 months ago. It was the Talafofo armed shooter, carjacking, police chase.
Yeah, that was a crazy one.
Speaking of changing stories.
That was a whole weekend of, I feel coverage from the whole team, right? From news to digital. I feel like everyone was on their toes when that was happening, because it was wow, this is really it's happening. It's everywhere. we need to be on top of this to make sure like we have the right info. And like I just remember that weekend so clearly. Like,
yeah, it was hectic. And shout out to, again, Nick and Jason for getting that initial coverage out there, because that was something that the island was really looking at closely and looking to us to provide that information, because in all honesty, the community was panicked that there was a shooter on the loose. And I remember the next day, Suki, we were tag teaming, and Suki ended up at an apartment where she interviewed one of the witnesses. So can you just tell us a little bit more about that day? I just remember he was telling us about how he encountered him, so that was really interesting.
Yeah, so the person we spoke to was actually one of the relatives of a victim who was carjacked at gunpoint, and he was only 18 years old. But then the witness that we spoke to was telling us how he was actually standing like outside of his doorway on his balcony because he had heard shouting, and then when he looked downstairs in the parking lot, he just saw his relative, his cousin, actually like running away, because the guy Jeremy Pangilinan that we now know of, he had pulled out a silver revolver and said, "Give me your car or I'll shoot you." And of course the victim did the smart thing and he ran away, gave him his keys, and Jeremy Pangilinan took off with the car. And I don't know if he ever got the car back, probably not, but they did end up finding him like all the way in the northern end of the village, right? So
it was interesting. He even showed us the pathway that he took to get to the apartment, and he was hiding under the stairwell. So it was just really interesting to get that firsthand account from people who were experiencing it. And really, we wouldn't have known if we didn't go out in the field and speak to the community.
Yeah. And like how you bring that up too, because when we were going to another shooting, this one was at GPO. It was in a parking lot, and it had happened like late in the evening. So a lot of this, the gathering we were doing the following day.
Yes.
And I had sent you and Mitch over there to the parking lot, and you came across.
Yes, I actually, it just so happened that when we were gathering B-roll of the incident, we just so happened to run into a relative of the victim. And I believe the person that we were speaking to, he was the godfather to, or the victim, I'm sorry, was the godfather to his daughter. And he was just telling us, how shocked he was to hear about it, and also just to find out about it through the media and through social media chats. We also got to talk to people within the community in the surrounding GPO area. A lot of them didn't even know that the GPO shooting had happened. Nobody heard gunshots. Nobody heard sirens. So that's another big part of our job as reporters, is not just sharing the news through social media or through TV, but it's also telling our community in person, hey, this is happening right next to you, if you didn't know. And just to have, that was just a huge event to cover. It was a lot. Yeah.
And I feel like another major case this year was that the hit and run with the off-duty police officer.
Oh yeah. That too was, it had happened on the weekend, and then it was like a week almost later where we found out the information again through another press conference with GPD. He had hit a bicyclist, or he was on a scooter, and the accident happened. He later on he came up with another idea that he got into an accident to stage it. To stage it, and then right now that's going through the investigative process, and I think that's what a lot of people were surprised about, that this man did that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's never an easy beat to cover. It's really unfortunate when we hear this devastation in our community, but of course we do have to remove that initial feeling as reporters when we're doing our job. But undoubtedly, it's not an easy beat to cover, and it's really unfortunate.
And I also feel like this beat is, although it's really, really heavy and hard sometimes, it's sort of necessary for us to kind of put that type of content out there, because it not only brings awareness, it also it gives people I should be aware of my surroundings.
Yeah. Before that incident happened, we actually had police officers from the Guam Highway Patrol Division come to our studio to speak on our podcast Off the Record, talking about, I believe it was like National Drunk Impaired Prevention Month, something along those lines. But we had them come and speak with us about the importance of, getting to your destination safely and not drink or driving under the influence, because at the end of the day, like, you want to be safe, and you also want to keep an eye out for be mindful of other drivers on the roads.
Definitely. It's a great way to tie up, I think, this thing. Just be safe. And again, we're here to keep you all informed and to do our part in keeping the community safe. So.
Welcome back to That's a Wrap 2025. When we look back at the past year, really a lot of the biggest conversations surrounded the environment and how closely that ties into pretty much everyone's life here on the island, whether it's from land, air, and sea. But I feel like one of the ones that had probably the biggest impact on our local community was the Dealgin water contamination crisis.
That's right.
Yeah, when we first, from what I recall, when we first, I guess, heard about it, was actually not even this year. It was like 2 years ago, when I remember covering a EPA board meeting, and they had not really announced it. They were just discussing it within that meeting, which of course is public, but it wasn't widely known to the community. And then fast forward 2 years later, that's when you were covering it very closely on the ground up there in Jigo. Could you kind of walk us through how that issue came about for you?
Yeah, so again, like Suki said, it's been a team effort to cover this huge issue, because it took up a lot of the minds of our community, rightfully so. But when I was covering it, I believe we heard that there was a do not drink advisory in place for the residents in the Jigo Santa Rosa area. So I connected with the vice mayor, because he was actually distributing water to the residents, because they couldn't drink, they couldn't cook, they couldn't shower with their water, because it was essentially poisonous for them to do so. So I was able to speak to the mayor, who is a resident of the area himself, in addition to the other neighboring people in the area. And a lot of them were really disappointed with just the way that the information was communicated with them. A lot of them were very panicked, just wondering, what do they do now? Where do we get our sources of water? A lot of them were also really disappointed honestly, with GWA, asking, when are they going to set up fill tank systems? When are they going to install filtration systems as well? So just fast forward, we do know that GWA ultimately said that we failed, and they did say that they were informing residents through their water quality report, which was mailed to residents. But residents were saying that just wasn't a sufficient way for them to access this really vital information about their drinking water. So GWA established an online portal. Of course, in addition to establishing that online portal, eventually GWA and GIPA, they ended up lifting the do not drink advisory. And of course, a permanent filtration system is underway. But I think the lingering concern for the residents in the area, and honestly for island residents, is just the continuum of monitoring, and also ensuring that they're paying attention to health concerns. So if Dealgin has an impact on, it is a pesticide. So if it has impacts on their health, just what can the government do to ensure that they're healthy? And again, we heard so much feedback from the community. You saw on social media.
Yeah, the reel that we made with you had so many comments from the community.
Yeah.
That's just how much water is life, like you said.
It really is. Everybody was really engaged. And speaking of that community engagement, Sukes, I know that you've been covering deep sea mining and also the missile defense. So can you just tell us a little bit more about deep sea mining? It's something more recent, and Pratehi Guahan has been a huge advocate for the community to come out and comment.
Yeah, so there was a lot of, I guess, the federal impacts to the environment. Of course, we have the land, air, and sea. So for the deep sea mining, that we might recall a little bit more because it's still their proposal is still ongoing, unlike the missile defense proposal, which already has been approved to move forward. But a lot of people have been like submitting comments. But I guess the initial issue came about where I recall I was speaking with Ms. Carlotta Leon Guerrero from Adelup, and she was telling me how the governor actually didn't find out about the proposal until it was through the media that she found out. And then she, alongside the governor of the CNMI, she issued a joint request to extend the comment period because it was only for like 30 days, which is a month. And that's not enough time for the community to really provide meaningful feedback, especially with this deep sea mining issue. There's not a lot of scientific research done on it, and we don't know like the impacts it's going to have on the environment. So that was a big thing for the local activists and the community in general. And then, of course, they did extend that comment period for the month of January until I believe it was like January 12th. But it kind of, talking about it now, it kind of like makes me think of like the missile defense issue, because also at that time, I recall that there was also a comment period, and so many people had submitted comments for that as well. And then we had the final EIS, Environmental Impact Statement, that came out despite all those comments and concerns. And then now this $8 billion system is going to move forward. And some of the concerns that were brought up throughout our coverage in this was like the housing crisis, and even of course the environmental impacts of, I believe like there is an impact to like our limestone forest for our Finihi and Padang, which is of course their natural habitat there. But a lot of these issues that really intersect that happened this year, that's quite a bit, but those are just like some of the major things that that we covered, right?
Yeah.
Tourism was also another topic this year that really had a lot of progress, but a lot of pressure on it. We started the year off with another transition with Virginia Viscoli stepping in as the CEO and president of GVB. And of course, she had a lot of things to work through as tourism recovers, and we had the airline incentives that GVB has done, and of course our direct flights to, I believe it was Taipei, and then just earlier in December, Cebu. So a lot of progress, but also a lot of I guess kind of like drawbacks, because we did see like businesses leaving. So Fantastic Park had closed down, which was a major, one of our most
our top story of the year.
That resonated with the community, and again, we are part of the community. So even just hearing about that personally, we were all sad because that was where we made so much of our childhood memories. Another thing too was DFS closing, or the announcement of DFS's closure. It was really unfortunate because we know that it's a draw for our tourism industry that we are duty free here. So that was a huge, huge hit. But again, we're interested to track where tourism will go in the future, and also just keeping a close eye on environmental issues. And Suki, you've been doing a great job. Shaylee, you've been doing a good job.
And the community has been doing a really great job on speaking out on these issues. And of course, we also have to highlight that we had the Tumon Night Market this year, which is doing really great, and they've approved it for the next fiscal year. So a lot of things to come for the next year of 2026.
Yes, but don't go anywhere, guys. That's a Wrap continues after this break.
KUAM News is rounding up lifestyle news and happenings from around our region with News Bites Monday through Friday on KUAM News Primetime, KUAM.com, and our Instagram and Facebook profiles. Get morsels of news daily, and if you have a tidbit to include, email newsdirector@KUAM.com and send in your happenings. News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Better Together, Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas, and the Guam Army National Guard. Live here, serve here.
When I was diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma, I didn't know it was a blood cancer. It's one of more than 100 different types, and they're all treated differently, and the symptoms can look like other things, so it could be hard to diagnose. I had a fever for weeks. I was so tired all the time and I didn't feel like eating. This can feel scary, but if you know what to look for, you'll know what to tell your doctor. And you can get in touch with the Leukemia Lymphoma Society. LLS was there for me and they could be there for you too.
This message is brought to you by the KUAM Care Force.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill. What's for lunch and for dinner? You want something good? Yeah. Jamaican grill. Yeah, man, serious food.
Happy New Year, KUAM! Plates, platters, and parties at your house or ours. Yaman, serious food for 2026.
You know, we everything that we've discussed so far, they were big topics of the year. Two key things I think that were big this year were homelessness and, of course, our politics, right? And like with homelessness, there was the encampments that have popped up over the year. There was one back in February that the Parks and Recreation had concerns given to them by Pago Bay residents of an encampment that was set up near Pago Bay, to the point where there were makeshift shelters. I mean, like homes that they built along with like white goods, old cars, things that they found along the way, and it built up this. They made like a whole, almost like a little community on the shore, and it was to the point where they had to have a meeting with like the interagencies, like the National Guard, DPW, TOGI, OHAP, and they all came together to brainstorm, and it led to a big cleanup operation in March. And you had like from morning till like the end of the day, these agencies cleaning, working together to clean up this. And I remember Vic taking like pictures and drone footage of before and after, and just seeing the difference it made in the cleanup. You know, I know a lot of people were upset about like destroying like an area that was meant for people that didn't have a place to call home. That's why they had OHAP there to reach out to them if they needed assistance. You know, but they had already kind of vacated the place before before they started to clean up. But that was a big project. I know that you recently came across your encampment.
Yeah, the one in Alupang Island. I feel like it's the like kind of a similar situation, because by the time that park patrol or park police and the officials had gotten there, people had already left the premises, or they weren't anywhere to be found when they went there to clean up the island. And DHAP was actually like on standby to help them out, but once they had heard from DPR that they weren't there, they of course weren't able to provide services, of course, because no one was there. And then when they had cleaned up, I believe that they had like 2 trailers full of like trash or junk that they had removed from the island. It wasn't just in the front side from where you can see from the shore. It was actually, there's a trail leading back up into the island, and they called it like a penthouse that they had created structures and had belongings like all along leading up that trail. And other concerned residents reaching out to us regarding the homelessness issue in Hagåtña, where we had found an encampment kind of like under the bridge area just across of Adelup near a local business. And it really goes to show that Guam has a housing crisis, we have a homelessness crisis, and there's not enough shelter space to help these people, and there's a long waiting list as well. So it's really like kind of focusing on how there's still more work to be done, and there's a need to approach this in a compassionate way, because these people need safe shelter and they need resources pretty much.
On the political side too, it's been a busy year for you.
Yeah, well, not just locally, but also nationally. There's been a lot going on. One of the biggest things that I covered this year was the federal shutdown. and the results of the One Big Beautiful Bill passing, we kind of saw a domino effect with agency after agency experiencing delays or experiencing shortages and cuts to their budgets. That really impacted their ability to serve our communities across the country. And one of the most notable ones that was impacted, or some of the most notable things that were impacted, were SNAP and WIC and cuts to the Department of Education. And those are, SNAP and WIC and Medicaid are all things that our community here on Guam really utilizes, and it's there to keep families from falling off the edge and giving them a bit of support when they need it. And so just seeing how those cuts to those programs really affected families across the country was really difficult to see, but it was also really important for us to give as frequent updates as possible because the situation kept changing.
Speaking of politics, though, you also covered a lot of our local legislature at the Congress building. We had a lot of oversight hearings, public hearings for bills, and a lot of emergency sessions. I mean, one of the major things that we saw this year was the medical campus being delayed pretty much. Could you tell us a little bit more about from what you recall from that?
Well, like you said, a lot happened with that, and I think the main point was that there's over $100 million in federal funds that the governor's office is trying to secure to ensure that Guam does get a new, updated, modern medical campus to serve the community.
Yeah, and especially with that deadline next year, they have to use the funds by, I believe it was December of 2026.
Right.
But with the AG kind of, I guess, stalling the process. Well, not stalling,
The
but he's like,
procurement process and everything like that.
So it's kind of like a lot of legal challenges with this medical campus. But Joni, I know you were also following really closely with the PUA 7.
Oh yes, the pandemic unemployment assistance fraud case. You know, that money was used meant for people that were needing assistance from the COVID pandemic, and you know, through a lot of investigation, they were indicted 7 people. Close to $1.9 million was taken, and it involved Lieutenant Governor's family, so his sister, his sister's boyfriend, his partner, and I think it really blew up to how much, you know, did he know, did he not know? So I think that is what has been upsetting a lot of people. It's a lot of money that could have been used to help a lot of families and people that were struggling during the pandemic, and we shall see like what happens next year,
especially with the election.
I think people are going to be closely watching that.
And of course, we have Padme from our digital team joining here. As part of the digital team, what do you feel like were some of the stories, whether it's in homelessness or politics, that really engaged the community this year?
Well, I feel like you all explained it very eloquently and very well. I think homelessness in particular has garnered a lot of attention with our community, especially because it is a concerning topic from many standpoints. But I definitely agree with you with what you said about sort of addressing the issue with compassion. I think homelessness kind of comes a little unexpectedly for a lot of people. I mean, there's a lot of causes for it. It could be mental illness, and it could be sudden disabilities. It could be from lack of family support and financial support. It could be the sudden loss of some financial security or joblessness, like you mentioned before. And I think what's important is that no matter what your opinion is about it, to also remember that these are real people out there who need our help and the community's help, and we should always remember to give them some compassion.
All right. Yeah. Way to end
the segment.
Yeah. We'll be back after this.
Join us as we explore the heart of Guam's neighborhoods in My Ville. We're visiting your favorite mom and pop village stores, discovering the island's best loved snacks and delicacies, and meeting the incredible people behind these community gems. Watch this exclusive digital series on KUAM News social media platforms and KUAM Weekend Edition. And follow along with our story map as we showcase a new store from north to south. In My Ville, brought to you by Pepsi.
As a firefighter, my job was about saving lives. I never thought one day I would be fighting for mine. MDA empowers people like me to live the best lives we can. Learn more at mda.org today.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill, Jamaican grill. What's for lunch and for dinner? You want something good? Yeah. Jamaican grill, yeah man, serious food.
Happy New Year, Guam! Plates, platters, and parties at your house or ours. Yaman, serious food for 2026.
Okay, my turn, and I have been waiting literally all year to give you guys a proper, exhaustive, amazing recap of a year in sports that was truly like any other. Let's check out what 2025 shaped up for athletics, recreation, fitness, and leisure. Let's go. Okay, so I want to take a start at the beginning of the year, right? The second half of the school year saw FD have a year like any other. The class of 2025 competed in 15 interscholastic sports, won 7 island-wide championships. That is unprecedented. That's never been done before. Football, volleyball, baseball, golf, every single sport, rugby, wrestling, FD was absolutely dominant. And then at the end of the school year, we also had the very first appearance, the debut of dance as an interscholastic sport. Middle school, high school, individuals, homeschool, federal programs and everything. Everybody got involved with dance, and all dance troupes, dance clubs, dance programs, studios, schools. It was an amazing experience for everybody involved. And the glory of a championship at any level is eternal, right? That stands forever. And for the very first time, congratulations to the Harvest Christian Academy Eagles, because the girls volleyball team won their very first volleyball championship, defeating the heavily favored GW Geckos in the fall. That was amazing. And probably the story of the year was GW, the mighty Geckos, right? Ended FD's 9-year championship winning streak. The FD Friars were the most dominant team perhaps in interscholastic football history, and GW got the chip. Congratulations to Coach Ryan Rios and the rest of the team for pulling that off. That's amazing. 2025 was also a year for anniversaries. Earlier in the year, we saw the 50th anniversary of Guam's very first gold medal in men's basketball. The 1975 Team Guam men's team, I had the chance to sit with them, to interview them, to talk to some of the greats, right? Champ Calvo, Tony Susuico, Joe Titano and everything, reflecting on 5 decades ago of what their very first gold medal meant to them, playing in that famed gold medal match in GW. Absolutely amazing. It was also the 50th anniversary of the Guam Football Association and the organization that is taking Guam soccer to the next level, right? The facilities right up the street from us at the KUAM Studios in Harmon, right? The National Training Center, a world-class facility with world-class athletes taking Guam to the next level. Lots of things going on throughout the world of sports. All right, if you're a Guam sports fan like me, we cheered on Team Guam all the way. Over the summer, we competed at the Mini Pacific Games in Palau, and most definitely in track and field, Hugh Kent and Jordan Baden, right? Dominant athletes. They both won 3 medals each. Hazel Wilson won silver in the hurdles. Team Guam was so impressive. Young athletes, older athletes, all making the trip over to Palau, representing us with island pride and island spirit, really showing what we are doing at the national level. And then speaking of the national team, Team Guam men's basketball making history. Played against Japan, played and qualified for the FIBA Asia Cup qualifiers, and then the biggest game in Guam sports history, right? The game where we hosted the Philippines. The field house was jam-packed, right? Everybody was like sardines as we saw Team Guam play Team Philippines. Absolutely amazing contest. Sports exploding like never before right here on the island. So good to see at any level and any fan of sports. And very fittingly, everybody, we're going to close our look at the year in island sports right here at the Kids Club, where this is amazing. And remember, sports is about setting ourselves up for success, about having fun, about learning teamwork, about working hard, making sure that everybody does everything the Team Guam way, right? From St. John's winning, Harvest winning, GW winning, our national teams winning, going places, taking trips, the dominance of FD, upsets, victories. Everything was so amazing this year. Truly a year unlike any other. And The next generation is looking absolutely amazing. So it's been an honor of mine to be able to cover middle school, high school, national team, club level, everybody that made this year such an amazing year for sports. Thank you for giving me the honor of letting me cover you guys.
Watch KUAM News morning updates during today, Tuesday through Saturday on KUAM TV8 and Peacock. It's all the national and local news you need to know when you start your day. KUAM News morning updates are presented by Calvo Enterprises, Inc.
Join us in saluting those making strides in serving our armed forces every Tuesday on KUAM News Instagram, recognizing Guamanians receiving accolades in the armed forces, those stationed in Guam making a difference in our community, and veterans being recognized for their service. Presented by Future Smiles Orthodontics. Build a brighter future with a brighter smile.
Holiday guys, welcome back to another episode of Foodie Call.
Kobe.
Oh.
Wrong intro.
Oh, my bad. My bad. Sorry, guys.
Anyways, we're giving the news team a break.
Yes.
And digital team is taking over.
Take over. Oh. Awesome. 2025.
2025 was a year.
It was a year.
I mean, our main thing. We started Guam Scene.
We started Guam Scene this
Back
year.
in May.
Our new baby back in May, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you came up with the idea of Kobe. Like, tell me about it.
No, Guam Scene was definitely like a group effort to kind of bring to life because before it was KUAM Circular and before that it was Uno Magazine. So it's just been kind of going through different phases of its life. And I think after Circular, we were just kind of like, man, we need to give this thing a new look, a new approach, and kind of put like our passions into it, right? So now it's Guam Scene where we can make fun videos, we can still promote things that are happening on our island, so like your island, your scene. And yeah, it's kind of like this new collaborative project that we're all working on, and I think each of us have really grown to appreciate.
I feel like we've really gone into how everything looks within like graphics and everything, and we have so much fun like making the videos.
Oh yes, yeah. I think with Guam Scene is the good thing is with everybody's style of shooting, everybody's style of editing, it matches everything. Where it goes from cinematics to fun little trendy videos to like Padme, doing PNG stuff with products and Shaylee and then Kobe coming in with all our fun videos. I think Guam Scene is just like I said, a vehicle for something new, something. To kind of revamp that whole account and kind of bring it up to the people. So it's been fun.
Yeah. And honestly, like when Guam Scene was started, I wasn't even in digital yet.
Yeah, so like that's another good thing for our team here is we have two new members, Padme here, who just started, and Shaylee, who kind of moved into our department right before Guam Scene?
Right after.
Right after Guam Scene, like kind of revamped. That's like our big point for our team. So like you guys want to talk about?
You guys really made me feel like welcome. Aww. Yeah, I think you guys just like being yourself and like being kind of weird. In a good way.
We're kind of weird.
Yeah,
in a good way.
That's kind of like the vibe we're going for is we like to be that inviting, fun. We have a little bit of
like
chaos.
I think it's a video that we can just show our personalities on camera.
Exactly.
And we all have different-ish personalities, I feel like.
Very much.
Yeah.
And we clash and we blend very well, I feel like.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
And we get the job done. I think
We do.
Through crunch time, through all the laughs and everything, I think the job gets done at the end of the day. So thank you guys.
We had a lot of fun this year, and I'm glad to see what 2026 brings.
Yes, Guam Scene 2026, digital team.
We'll be there.
Stay tuned.
That's a wrap. 2025 edition returns, everybody, and we are talking about community events. One of the things that was more evident than ever in Guam's history is how much our people love being part of this community. Good times and bad, we stick there and we have each other's backs. Vic, you also did a tremendous amount of work, both with the local community as well as our Micronesian brothers and sisters. There was such a feeling of love throughout the community all year.
Definitely, and then like I said, like throughout all the episodes of One Mic, I did feature a lot of things that to deal with the FSM community here in Guam, abroad. I think one of the biggest ones, and I talk about it in our reel as well, is flying all the way to New York, to East Aurora, New York, to feature a small band from a small island in Ulithi who performed on a big stage like Borderland Fest. So stuff like that, events like that, and covering it and showcasing it to not only to the people here in Guam but throughout Micronesia. It's always such a great opportunity for me, and honor too.
That's incredible. And speaking of honor, like one of our proudest moments as a team here at KUAM, and Kobe, you were a major part of this, was we at the KUAM Care Force went island-wide to cover Giving Tuesday.
Yes, our village to village Giving Tuesday was, I feel like, one of the bigger. It was on a bigger scale this year where we hit all 19 villages. Collected donations throughout the month of November, and then distributed it out to all the mayor's offices, the schools, and kind of just giving back to our community for all the support and love that they show us. We wanted to kind of give that back and create that spirit of giving. It was a good feeling day that day. I loved every second of it. Such a good feeling.
Well, it's all love, man.
All love,
absolutely,
yeah,
all year
sure.
round. And Nevaeh did a lot of work, both covering and participating in events that really proved who our people are as a community, and more particularly as a culture.
Yeah, so this past year we also celebrated the 75th anniversary of the Organic Act. And, a lot of the conversation is about how maybe the Organic Act doesn't satisfy who we are and where we are today, but then it also opens the door for us to realize that us as a community, we have our own voices, we have all of our own opinions, and we can share that and come together and really, catapult off into the future and, see what we do want, what our next evolution is
And if we agree to disagree on some things, that's okay too, because it just makes us stronger and we understand the nature of who we are so much better, and we move forward.
Yeah, and recognizing like growth as our island community, from 75 years ago to now. It's kind of just looking back on everything we've accomplished and everything we've done as Guam.
And that is by definition, Vic, Kobe, and Nevaeh, the very definition of a community, one that we are incredibly proud to be a part of. What are you looking for?
This season, come home no matter where you are. Celebrate Christmas Chamorro Island style with the sounds that bring memories of Bunelas Dagu, family gatherings, novenas, and village lights. Stream Isla Christmas on Isla Digital Radio, anytime, anywhere, on demand on KUAM.com and the KUAM News app. From Guam to the world, keep the island spirit close this holiday season. Brought to you locally by Valley of the Ladi and the Guam Bus. Feliz Navidad from Isla Digital and KUAM.
Yay! We're ready for the Christmas market. What?
Ova, I am Michelle Fresh, and we are taking auditions for our Christmas movie here at the KUAM studios. If you can state your name and begin with your audition.
Mitsuki Hirayama.
I'm Kobe Onodera.
I'm Padme.
I'm Vic.
My name is Janice.
3, 2, 1.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle bell rock. Honestly, I think we killed that performance.
I don't know, man. I think we practiced this like 10 times. We're supposed to go the other way. I don't know what Kobe was. I don't even know, man. I think it's Kobe's fault. He had that, bro.
You didn't come to any of our rehearsals.
Should I have to do this? I just came from the field and haven't had lunch yet.
Hi, I'm Shaylee, and I'll be auditioning for Mariah Carey. I guess I was just singing too high of a note. I guess they couldn't hear.
You want me to hold the mic or?
Ready? Frosty the Snowman. Am I melting? Am I melting?
All right. What will you ladies be?
I gotta get holiday gifts out.
Off today, this is Tori.
And I need to go back to work. I don't even need to audition. I can already get the role. I'm not doing this.
Mitch is taking this a little too seriously. He doesn't even speak French.
Victor Wembinyama, Escargot, Patty, Voulez-vous coucher à ce soir? Ce soir? Honestly, I don't speak French. I just really love the holidays.
Feliz Pascua and Viva Ha'anen Wabu!
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from KUAM!
So thank you as always so much for watching, everybody, and have a wonderful 2026. Ready, guys? 3, 2, 1.
That's a wrap. See you next year.
This program lineup is brought to you by Vision Express.
KUAM TV8, home of Super Bowl 60, coming February 9th, 2026.